My name is Sarah Brinkman, and we have some breaking news coming out of Ypsilanti, Michigan today. Jonathan Lawson is the father of a third grader at EMES, otherwise known as Eastern Michigan Elementary School, and he says that his son's teacher asked him to come in for a meeting yesterday afternoon. When Jonathan came into this meeting, he says he was immediately put on the offensive. The teacher began to verbally attack him and his son, and make him feel as though his son's language disability was somehow his fault as a father. Jonathan Lawson is going public with this story in hopes of having this teacher fired from the district in which his son goes to school. We've got Kathleen McAllister at the school now with Jonathan to talk about this. Over to you, Kathleen.
Hi, Sarah. I'm reporting to you live from Eastern Michigan Elementary School. I'm out here bright and early with Jonathan, the father of the third grader. He's going to tell us a little bit more about his experiences a couple days ago. John, how did you feel coming out of that meeting?
I was outraged. I found out my child had dyslexia, and I wasn't given any information, just walked into the classroom, and I felt like I was set up. I was just accused, and just so much anger from a professional.
No, I can totally understand how that would be frustrating. How do you feel that the teacher could have done things differently to make this a better experience for you?
She could have started by telling me what dyslexia was. I just walked into this ambush. I didn't even know there was a problem.
No, I definitely understand. Well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Now let's talk about how to effectively run a meeting where you inform a parent that their child may have dyslexia.
Step 1 is going to be to calmly explain to the parents why you've asked them to come in and meet with you. It's going to be a shock at first for the parents to hear that you are telling them that their child could possibly have a language disability. So be patient and understanding if they need a few minutes to process the information they've just been given. Next, you are going to provide parents with lots of information. Start off with the information about why you believe the child is showing signs of dyslexia. It can be helpful to give them a pamphlet or article that outlines the different signs and explain which ones are being seen in the classroom. You'll also want to provide information about what exactly dyslexia is and how modifications can be made for a person with this disability.
Take some time to talk about what the child does well. Remind the family that whether or not their child has dyslexia, they are intelligent and thrive at things, reading or otherwise. After this meeting, the next step will typically be for the child to have an assessment to find out if your suspicions are correct. Before the parents agree to an assessment, they will likely want to know what will happen in the child's assessment and what the various outcomes could mean for their child's education. Finally, you will want to have a plan ready and talk it over with the family. You should have multiple plans of action ready for the family to ease their worries about what's going to happen next. If the child does have dyslexia, what services will they be provided with? If the child does not have dyslexia, how can we find the root of the problem, and how else can we help the child?
Oh, hello. Hi. Come on in.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for meeting with me today. Nice to see you too.
Thank you.
So I brought you in today to talk about Charlotte a little bit. So as you know, she's a very bright student, but she's having a little bit of struggle in English class with her reading and writing. And I am thinking, just my personal assessment, just for me, I'm thinking that she may have a language disorder known as dyslexia.
Okay.
So have you heard of dyslexia?
I've heard of it, and I guess I can see a little bit of it, like when she's writing and doing homework at home, mixes the words up a little bit, kind of the letters.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page about that. So I wanted to give you some paperwork here about dyslexia.
Okay.
I'm going to take a look at that. And then I've highlighted a lot of the spots that I've seen Charlotte exhibiting, like the different signs and things like that, if you'd like to give this a look.
Yeah.
And we can go over it together in a minute too also. Also, I wanted to give you some more information about Charlotte.
Okay.
So here is a paper that she did. You can kind of maybe look at that and see why I think an assessment is needed.
So you haven't already tested her?
No, we actually cannot test her without your permission. So I'm going to need you to sign off on something at the end of this meeting today. If you're comfortable with it, we would love to test her. So she is a very bright student, and she's very creative. She loves to write, and she has a lot of stories in her head. Here's something that she wrote, if you'd like to look at that. She just needs help getting these things concretely onto paper. I mean, if you can, kind of look at that, the story is great.
Yeah.
She just needs help with the spelling and kind of deciphering where words go in sentences, things like that, which we can definitely absolutely help her with. And I mean, once that happens, once we do the assessment, we'll have one of two outcomes. Either she does have dyslexia or she does not. If she does, then we will move forward with special services and we'll get her a tutor, and we'll do lots of things like that. If she does not, then I think you and I should maybe meet again, and we can talk about maybe the root of this issue and where we can go from here, what other things we can do, more time with me, more time working on things after school, stuff like that. So yeah, let's look at that.